Yo, what's up, guys? Keen from Yumi and Cree here today with one of the teammates, RJ, and you won our case tournament in Austin, Texas at Adobe Mall last week, right?
Yeah.
And what deck were you playing?
Pure Burning Abyss.
You didn't like the PK5 variant?
I feel like some of the hands are a little bricky, but it's definitely got a high ceiling in terms of OTK potential. But I kind of like the burning, this Pure Burning Abyss a little bit better.
All right, cool. All right, let's go and get into it. Got these lovely ass tokens.
Yeah. Whoa, Seer.
Oh, dude. Let me get one of those.
All right. One Graph, pretty barb. 2 Seer, 3 Skarm, 3 Farfa, 2 Calcab, which this, in my opinion, is kind of standard, but 2 Alec. This is actually a little bit of not to say a tech, but just a personal choice. Just because Beatrice is basically a trap, but I always want to have an Alec in deck to resolve Beatrice the way I would like to. Because a lot of people don't know that if you know your rulings really good, then you can actually negate a couple things. Like if you're playing like E-Tellies and you're playing Quantums, you could chain Beatrice in this and it'll negate basically the blue layer. Or if let's say they summon Idea and then they try to summon Eidos, you can chain to the Ideas and then it'll negate the Eidos. Another card that has actually a cool interaction that I did at the tournament is Pendulum Rising, which probably the Pendulum deck's kind of going to go more towards the play to get a Sorcerer effect. When they activate it and tribute their monster to try to summon Sorcerer, you can chain to send this and it'll negate the Sorcerer, so they kind of just neg 2.
Yeah.
But,
alright, cool.
So Barbar and Rubik.
You didn't want to play any of the other ones, like Drag
Not Drag. Drag is kind of meh. Just because Beatrice is always sending from the deck. But I did miss Libic a couple times. I'm not sure what I can mess around with. Maybe the Alec, but like I said, I really like having one in deck at all times. But it's definitely good if you want to run the Libic.
Gotcha.
Then get to the tour guides. 1 tour guide, 3 more tour guides.
True.
And then the card you never want to draw.
But you always
this
do
tour
draw.
guide. I always draw this card. But, and then one card that I kind of take in. It's an older card for BA, but hasn't really been high in popularity lately. But Crane. This card comes in clutch. It's basically another way to play when you have Beatrice on the board. Let's say you have like an opening of this. You could double Dante. It just allows you to play more. And another cool interaction I had with this deck, because this is kind of like the similar build that I played at YCS Houston. You can bring back Rubik with Crane and make Virgil that way. Which is kind of it's a little bit different from Tour Guide because it doesn't actually say that you can't synchro with the monster, so it comes in handy sometimes.
Gotcha.
And then 3 Rhino, stable if you're playing pure at least.
Yeah.
Then hand traps, 3 Maxi, 3 Veiler.
Went pretty overboard, right?
Yeah. I actually just really think the hand traps were really needed. I didn't play Veilers when I was at YCS Houston. I really missed them. And I also like Monarchs and stuff. And I just really felt like losing a die roll, you need something to combat either the mirror match or just any deck really. Like Veiler's really good against all the decks right now. Like BA, if they Tour Guide, obviously Veiler, or if they like Terror Top, a lot of times their turn just ends right there. So Veiler's really good, and a lot of Twin Twisters running around. People don't expect it, so use Veiler and the turn in sometimes.
Yeah.
And you just go off and OTK. This is spells. 3 Twin Twister. I feel like you have to. 1 Raigeki and 1 Foolish. I wasn't making the Raigeki for a long time, but I feel like it's a tempo card, especially in the mirror match, because it can get really grindy if you don't have a way to out their board and then try to push for damage. So this is kind of just a tempo card, even though they're going to get back all their stuff from like Dante's, or if you can, try to Farfa Beatrice before you Raigeki or something like that, just to try to get the damage. And this is definitely a card that you're probably going to need. And then also, if people are playing Exceeds Universe for the mirror match or just decided, this is like one of my only outs to coach Ultimate Soldier or something like that. It's like the big untargetable monster.
Rank 9.
Yeah. And then also just for Cosmo, but it's not as good against Cosmo because obviously it destroys. This is a Traps. 3 Karma Cut. This is a card I'm really big on right now. Even though it targets, so it's not really good against Cosmos, it's really good against everything else. Before Pepe got like really hit on the ban list, you could use this against Luster. You can use this against opposing Dante's or Beatrice. It's just a really good card that I feel like a lot of people are like sleeping on right now. It won me a lot of games, or just put me in a lot of better position. And then the Solemn 3 strike, 1 warning.
Gotcha. Why'd you go with such like a low trap lineup?
Beatrice is basically a trap, so you don't really have to use that many traps, just because traps are slow to begin with because you have to set them and everything. So I try to mitigate that by using the best traps that I can think of, like strike, because technically when you have a trap, then you have to set it, and if they have like a board and you draw a trap for turn, then you just have to set your trap to a board, and it really doesn't do anything. So besides warning, strike and karma could kind of are able to do something against established boards, just in, if they activate an effect, or you could just karma cut something for disruption. Other than that, traps aren't really that good at right now because everything floats, and you just kind of have to play at a faster pace, or else you kind of get left behind.
Okay. And you never wanted to play like a Wing Blast or anything?
I had tried Wing Blast, but many times I tested it, I just ended up cutting it for actually the Crane, just because I found myself needing to have a bigger push at sometimes, so I just needed to heighten my ceiling up. And once again, like Wing Blast targets, so it's not really good against Cosmos. So in the comparison, I really wanted the Karma cut instead.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to get another side.
Yeah. 2 Flying Sea. I really want to fit in a third one, but you definitely have to play the card no matter what. It's the best card in a mirror match. You just think you can't play if, depending on their hand. And then 2 Ghost Ogre. I didn't play this at the YCS, but I had some open spots because I decided to cut the anti-spells since I didn't think pendulums were going to be that big of a factor at the tournament. They came in clutch. I didn't really use them as much as I did, but they were always there just in case. Then 2 Gamma Seal, basically for Cosmos, the Power Ranger deck if anybody's still playing that. They're just problem cards. Beatrice if you really want to side in the mirror, just stuff like that. 3 System Down. Self-explanatory, just outs all the big ships. Helps you go for game most of the time. Funny story, during the case tournament, I had a Pilgrim on board, and during my end phase I had Pilgrim effects, drew a system down. At the start of his turn I had Pilgrim, drew a second system down, and during the start of my turn, the following turn, I Pilgrimed and drew the 3rd system down. So in the turn and a half, I drew all 3 system downs, and I just won that next turn.
Yeah. Nice.
And then 2 Econs. This is really good in the mirror match because you can just take their stuff and OTK them, or if they like Flying Sea, you can get rid of the Flying Sea, and just play a little, play, because with that Flying Sea on the board, most of the time you can't. Then 1 Galaxy Cyclone. I usually side this against decks that I see like our big Floodgate, or just mainly Monarchs because the domain, obviously. Even extra deck Monarchs, just because they can get a lot of advantage off of return. And if they don't want to get rid of it, like they could just float with their big Monarchs. You could try to get rid of it like this. And then some people are siding Sinji and Dirge, so that's another reason why. You can just send it with Beatrice and then next turn use it.
Gotcha.
2 Mission of the Gnomes. I might just cut this down to 1 and play a second copy of this last card. But this card is really good if you draw it, especially if you draw it. There's the only reason I had 2, but you can send it with Beatrice, so 1's probably good enough. It basically, like, it's kind of like a Flying Sea, but it they don't get to play for 1 turn, and then you can banish it, and then they don't get to play for another turn. So sometimes those 2 turns could just be game if they can't do anything. And last card is a Fire Lake. This card's not as good with Beatrice as the main focus of the deck now, but if you can resolve this a lot of times, you just get ahead a lot. And most of the times if you draw it, you can basically start catering your plays to try to set up for it. And it's not as bad, but I usually side against Monarchs because you don't really want to make Beatrice against Monarchs. Like, you can make Beatrice, but if they have Stormford, then you just basically lose everything. You get like a Dante effect, but it's not as good. And if as long as you like keep floating with Dante's, it's a better situation than just losing a Beatrice straight to a Stormford. Mm-hmm. So you can basically do this, try to make 2 Dantes, and then just disrupt their board like this. And then also, people are playing Majesty's Fiend now, so it's out to Majesty's Fiend if you can, resolve it against that board.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's a side. And then extra deck is just 3 Dantes, 3 Beatrice, 2 Pilgrims. Once again, I feel like this is staple. A lot of people kind of want to debate, but if you're playing the mirror, then you're definitely going to need 2. Because if you run through the first one, then they bring the second one out and you don't have a second one, then you probably just lose from there. 1 Virgil, 2 Utopic Future. You definitely need it for Cosmos.
Yeah.
It's one of the game ones that you're really going to have to have a good hand, or you're probably not going to get to play if they have Destroyer.
Yeah.
Or Mojo. And then 1 Break Sword and 1 Grand Pulse. I find myself making this a lot more than Break Sword, but Break Sword's there just for basically damage pushes, because you can pop your own Dante and pop some other card and try to get through. But this is more of a control card. I kind of make this if I have like expendable BAs in my hand to try to push, like let's say if they have like 3 or something back row, and I try to push through this. If I have like a Twin Twister in this, then I can freely summon like my Tour Guide without having to worry about back row or just stuff like that. And it's 2800, so sometimes you can just sit on it, and like some decks have a hard time getting over it.
Mm-hmm.
Then Nightmare Shark, it's obvious, you push for game. And then Gaia Dragon Charger. Basically for the econs, but even if I wasn't playing econ, I probably would still play the card, just because 25 is a magic number in the mirror match. So if you can put something like a 26 on the board, and if you can back it up by like strike, and this is all game 1, because you wouldn't be making those plays if you had side. But if you can like back this up by a strike, sometimes in the mirror it should just get you there. But yeah, it's bigger than 25, so that's the only main reason you play it. And then you get pierce for damage, but it's not that relevant.
Gotcha. Okay, so what was your record?
I was X1 in Swiss, and then I had played throughout the top and didn't lose, so just X1. I had lost some Monarchs to the domain.
I see. Was that the other guy that was in top 8?
It was a guy that was actually in top 4.
Oh,
but
okay.
But yeah, his Majesties, he just had everything. Game 3, I even opened like really, really good. I had Fire Lake, and it was live. I had a Veiler and a Ghost Ogre, and he still won. I don't know how it happened, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
That happens. What other decks did you play? A lot of PK Fire, right?
Yeah, definitely. I played a whole lot of mirror matches. I played some weird decks. I played like 1 Raid Raptor. That guy was actually, he knew how to play his deck, so kudos to him. But he was running like floodgates and stuff, so basically as soon as I got Twin Twister,
he lost.
Yeah. Like, it's all that happened. But I played 1 Cosmo. I already told you the story of that. He didn't really get to play. And basically the rest were mirror matches. Played one Pendulum. It was actually the guy that also topped, but he bricked game 3. I guess it's just a risk you have to run, because you have to run so many normals now.
Yeah.
And rely on the normals, actually, because you don't have a lot of consistency the deck used to have.
Cool. So how do you think this deck's gonna do when Shining Victory comes out?
I feel like
with like all the new Cosmos being announced like in the past 20 minutes, hour.
Yeah, well, the Cosmos are actually really good, but the thing with this deck that everybody's throwing a big fuss over is the new Reaper card that basically banishes all your Dantes. I don't think it's as powerful as people are making it out to seem. It's definitely a really, really powerful card, but if let's say they don't open it and they draw it like their 6th card and you already have a board, well, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
As long as you have 1 Dante in circulation, you can basically make all your plays. So you never really have to worry about it as long as you can make 1 Dante at least. But if not, then it's a blowout card. It's kind of essentially the same thing as Flying Sea, but maybe just a little bit better. But other than that, deck's fine. It's BA floats. It's always gonna be good.
Yeah. All right, cool. So any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to Team Yeet. Basically, team here in Austin. We test a lot, theory a lot. We're on the up and coming, you know. So just watch out for us. Shout out to me and Decree.
What's up, bro?
Basically our home channel for Team Yeet. So we're always, you know, trying to help a brother out with content.
Hey.
But shout outs to Aaron specifically, because Aaron basically, whenever I picked the deck up, it's another teammate on Team Yeet, Aaron McKinnis. He tested with me for a good amount of hours to help me learn the ins and outs of the deck. I already knew basically how to play the deck, but it was it's just transitioning into playing in this meta. So with a lot of the mirror matches going on in Beatrice, so shout out to him as well.
Okay, cool. So anything else you want to say?
Nope.
All right, cool, man. Well, congrats on the win. What'd you win? Like 4 boxes?
Yeah,
Something
4
like that?
boxes.
Of Shining Victories, right?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so we'll probably be there to see you open them.
Hey, probably.
Yeah. All right, so sounds good, man. Congrats on the top and everything. And yeah, we'll see you at the next event.
All right.